Many religions of ancient times, along with many modern religions, believed in a certain form of afterlife. The Greeks and the Romans weren't an exception. This is historically. In the early Homeric religion, the afterlife was called Hades, a word that means the unseen, and was the place under the earth where all the souls of the dead would go after death, with no distinction between good guys and bad guys. The soul, called in Greek psyche, would fly out of the body either through the mouth or through the wound, and would reach Hades. Here, it would spend eternity being a mere shadow, with no strength to do anything. In the 11th book of the Odyssey, we see that the dead are so weak that in order to talk they need to drink blood. Nevertheless, Homeric writings give various perspectives about the afterlife. The same poem, in fact, also mentions the Elysium, islands where the souls of those loved by the gods would spend a blessed existence without any kind of struggle, toil, or pain. This is probably due to the fact that both the Odyssey and the Iliad are probably the result of long stratifications of many accounts. Thus, the most recent ones carry the concepts of paradise and maybe also of hell, while the earliest ones do not. Anyways, religion changed throughout time. An influence of Eastern religions led to the birth of a religious cult called Orphicism that believed that the soul, after death, has reincarnated into another body until it receives its final deliverance. They thought that the body, called soma in Greek, was like a tomb called sema, and the soul was trapped in it. Through their rite, however, it will reach a final deliverance and get to enter heaven. Also, Pythagoras seems to have held a similar doctrine, although we cannot be sure. Not everyone adhered to the Orphic cult, but it seems that many liked its teachings. Among them was Plato. Plato was Socrates' most famous disciple, but his teacher most likely did not have a precise idea about what happened when we die. Plato, on the other side, seems to be quite clear. Although his doctrines likely changes throughout his works, it seems clear that he believed in reincarnation and probably in temporary states of bliss and damnation. However, he is not enough clear about whether there is a way to get out of the circle of reincarnation, and if there is, how to reach it. These concepts, along with the progressive penetration in Europe of Eastern cults, slowly led most to believe in reward and punishment after death. There were, however, also philosophers who did not believe in any kind of life after the grave. In Rome, things were quite different. The traditional religion didn't really believe in an afterlife and saw memory as the main way to keep the dead alive. For this reason, most graves contain the full name of the deceased, so that it may be read by anyone who passes by it, and thus their memory may be continued. However, we also have sources that testify the presence of certain beliefs in the afterlife. Cicero once wrote a fictional account about a dream Scipio Africanus the Elder had, in which he saw the afterlife and the reward that awaits the righteous. While the account itself is admittedly a pure invention of the author, it nevertheless testifies the presence of a belief in something after death. Also, the great poet Virgil, in his Aeneid, describes the afterlife, mentioning both a place of punishment and a place of heavenly state. This picture started to change with the arrival of the cults of Isis and Mithras, both of which seem to have preached the presence of an afterlife and to have promised to their adherents to enter it. And ultimately, in the first centuries AD, Christianity started coming forth, until Constantine's victory against Maxentius in 312 led to the acceptance of Christians within the empire, and later on to the declaration of Christianity as the official religion of the empire. Like this video, keep updated by subscribing to our channel and hitting the bell button to receive notifications about new videos, here on Historically.